And with us right now, Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis, representing Staten Island, New York. Congresswoman, day one of the convention, big news, J.D. Vance, number 2 on the ticket. Your immediate reaction?
Look, I think J.D. is somebody who is young, he's dynamic, he's a great speaker, he's a veteran. He is somebody who has an amazing personal story that I think can relate to many Americans. And he comes from a swing state, Ohio. So I think he does bring value to the ticket. And I think he's really somebody who's been out there communicating the message and the agenda that we have, which is we want to secure the borders. We need to bring down inflation. We're going to, once again, restore prosperity to our economy, create jobs as President Trump did before, bringing unemployment down to lowest levels in a long time, and we're going to make America's streets safe again. And I think that quite frankly, a Trump-Vance ticket is a great ticket for the future of this country, and I think it's very exciting for a lot of people.
I agree, Congresswoman. Let me tell you why I'm a big fan of yours. One, you take on AOC. For that alone. 2, you focus on crime throughout the country. You are no joke. 3, you take on the issue of migrants and how much it's costing Americans. Mm-hmm. What do you see as the issues in this presidential race going forward?
Well, I think right now there's such a stark contrast of where we were under President Trump and where we are now under President Biden. And under President Trump, we had peace through strength. Now we're supporting 2 wars. Our allies have been attacked, and I think it's because of the weakness portrayed by this administration. We also had a secure border. President Trump was making significant progress stemming the tide of illegal immigration. Now we have an unprecedented migrant crisis. We know that in New York City, how destructive it has been, costing the taxpayers billions of dollars, crime increasing, 2 cops shot by an illegal immigrant, as well as a 13-year-old girl raped by an illegal immigrant, all brought here by President Biden. And by the way, they were caught at the border, but they were released. They were directed to be released by this administration, and it is creating so much havoc in our city. So I would say for New York, inflation, the economy, those energy costs, which is a combination, by the way, of bad state policy that the Democrats have put forth, and also what President Biden and his administration has done, destroying domestic energy production that has just allowed inflation to rise, food costs, electric costs, all of it. So I think those are the big issues that are facing us, and I think people just want common sense, prosperity to return,
yes,
and good opportunities for their families. Right now, they can't purchase a home, right? Because the interest rates are so high.
Impossible.
And that is because of Joe Biden's policies.
Now, I only have 2 minutes left here. Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis, representing Staten Island, New York, parts of Brooklyn. Your reaction to what happened over the weekend, and there are calls for the Secret Service director to be forced to step down. Your take on all of this?
Well, I think it's shocking that the Secret Service really hasn't said much, the director, and there's certainly questions that Americans have. How did an individual get so close to the President of the United States? How are they able to go up to this rooftop just a few hundred yards and be in a position to do this? If President Trump did not move his head in that last millisecond, he would not be alive today, and that is just so hard to accept. And we need to get accountability and get answers, find out exactly what happened here and who was behind it. But I would also say this, it shows how, and if you look at President Trump, the way he got up after, that is the courageous, defiant, the fearless leader that we need today in this country, and the world needs, quite frankly. And I think it just built his support because, again, he's a real leader, somebody who's not afraid to fight for us, for America, and he's just unstoppable. But it also highlights and underscores the problems that we have in this country right now and how we have to unite. And I think the person we need to unite behind is him.
I close with this. President Biden has finally caved in, given Secret Service protection to RFK Jr. What do you make of that?
Well, I think that's a smart move. I mean, if anyone suffered not knowing what it was not to have enough protection, it was Mr. Kennedy. And so I think giving him the protection he deserves, any candidate who's willing to put it themselves out there and is going to appear on the ballot deserves to have that type of security and protection, particularly in this day and age. But I think what we really need to do as a country is stop this vile rhetoric. The President Biden, just a few days before the shooting, said we have to put the bullseye on Trump. That was not helpful. That type of rhetoric is inflammatory. And all the lies that they've told about President Trump to try to destroy him professionally, personally, financially, ever since he came down that escalator in 2019. I mean, this is all built up to what we saw happen the other day, and it is tragic and sad, and it needs to be reversed.
Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you,
Dominic. And thank you so much for taking on AOC. Thank you. I can't.
Well, we got rid of
enough.
Bowman, so one down. We're going to keep on fighting.
One down, and every other member of that squad to go. Bye-bye.
Hopefully Cori Bush will be the next one to lose.
Fantastic. Congresswoman, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.